Hey y'all. Hey everybody. First of all, you have no idea how excited I am to be live right now. This is my first live in like forever. I think the last time I went live was when I got out the hospital back in April. So this is my first live since then. This is also my first time being in my office, okay? Like I have not seen my office since April. So I'm so excited. I was going to do the live upstairs in my bedroom and I was like, you know what? Nope. I'm going down in that basement and I'm doing my live in the office. So here I am. So anyway, as you guys come in, just say hello below. I am not on my phone. I'm not on my computer. I'm on my phone and I'm usually on the computer. So you guys are going to have to help me out a little bit with this whole using my phone to live stream thing. All right. So what I want to talk to you guys about, we're going to talk about what do you do when you have reached a crossroads and making a choice is harder than actually quitting. I want to talk to you about that. I also want to share with you my updates. I made a huge decision as it pertains to my health, a very scary, what some people might say is a very scary decision. And I want to talk to you guys about that, okay? So many of you have been praying for me. So many of you have been sending me messages. I've received flowers. I've received gift baskets. I've received a moolah, okay? Right? So many of you have been supporting me, and I just want to thank you, and I feel like I owe you this little, update on what's been going on with my health because you haven't been seeing me, okay? So before we jump in, just in case you're watching this somewhere other than my Facebook group, my name is Nyala Thorpe. I am a marketing and income strategist. I'm a business owner. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm all that, okay? I'm a cancer warrior right now. Story is just the story. The chapters are just happening. So many things are happening in my life, but that's who I am. If it's your first time seeing my video, welcome. If you're not in my Facebook group, it is the place to be for coaches. So definitely check that out. I'll make sure the link is below. And I don't want to spend too much time on this whole intro. I really want to get into why I'm here, right? And so as you guys know, in April, I was diagnosed with AML leukemia. And I'm telling you the type of leukemia because there are so many types of leukemia. So if you want to know what type I have, it's called AML, which is one of the most aggressive types of leukemia, types of blood cancer that you can get. And so everything like suddenly hit me in April. If I'm not going to go through the whole story, there is a video on my personal profile as well as in my Facebook group where I share the whole story of how I found out and everything that happened play by play. So I'm not going through that now, but I just want to give you a gist just in case you're new to me of why I'm sharing this, right? So I was diagnosed with leukemia and within 24 hours I was on chemo. So it was like my life looked one way in one night and the next day I was getting chemo, okay? And since then it's just been turmoil and happiness. It's like it's been so much good things happening, but then so much bad things. Like having cancer is so unpredictable because it's like you could wake up in the morning and everything could be fine, and then tomorrow, boom, you're in the hospital, fevers, all types of stuff happening. So it's so unpredictable, and that's what my life has been since April. If you think living day by day is unpredictable, I feel like facing life and death every day is so much worse because that's what it feels like. It feels like every day you have to wake up with extra gratitude and extra joy because you're being given another day that you're not in a hospital or laid up in a bed sick somewhere. So that's how it's been for me since April. And again, as you guys come in, definitely drop your name below and say what's up to me so I can say hello back to you, right? So yeah, that's how it's been. Well, about July 4th. July 4th, I ended up in the hospital. I was having some really bad fevers, and the fevers were going up to like 104, 105, dangerous levels. And I was weak. I couldn't get out the bed. And it was nighttime, and I said to my husband, like, this is not right. I feel like something's not right. I want to go to the emergency, right? And so, hey, Felicia, darling. Hi. It was so good to see you too. So I said, listen, I want to go to the emergency. Something isn't right. And so it could have been about midnight. I started calling the on-call doctor. It took them about I want to say about 4 hours. I don't want to exaggerate, but I'm going to say about 4 hours for them to get back to me, because I didn't end up back in the hospital in the emergency room until about 4 in the morning. And I was calling from like midnight over and over and over. And so when we get into the emergency, I couldn't walk. I couldn't anything. It was like it was like that morning I went to treatment, and that night I couldn't walk. I was so weak. I couldn't get out the bed, nothing. My husband had to take me out into the car. Then when we got to the emergency room, he had to wheelchair me in because I could not, I was so weak. And they admitted me right away. They came up, like whenever you go to the hospital, the first thing they do is they take your vitals and all of that. They took my vitals, and my blood pressure was 65 over, I don't know what that other number was. I cannot remember, but the top number was 65, which is dangerous, right? So they were saying like, they don't know how I'm talking to them. I should be having seizures. This is, not normal. We have to get your pressure back up, or your organs are going to start shutting down. And nothing was working. It was like dropping more and more and more until I went to ICU. And I want to tell you like how fast it happened, because it was like I got into the hospital at 4 a.m. By 4:45 a.m., I was in a room, and by 5:30, I was in ICU. So it was like they moved me up, they admitted me into a room, and then right away took me out that room and put me in ICU. And they said the reason why they was putting me in ICU was because the type of medicines that they had to give me to get my pressure back up and normalize whatever was happening in my body, they could not give it to me on the normal floor. It could only be issued in ICU, and I had to have 24-hour care. And so that's the reason why they put me in ICU. So I just want to kind of again, I'm not going through the whole thing. I just want to kind of give you the backstory of this, why my decision, this shocking, this huge, this scary decision that I'm now entering, and why I've made this decision. Okay. And so I ended up in ICU. I almost died. I had Dress syndrome. Every single thing that I had could have killed me. The first thing is I was septic. I was sepsis, whatever they call it, septic shock. I went into sepsis. Okay, so that's the first thing that could have killed me. The second thing is I had something called Dress syndrome. You guys can look that up. It is basically drug-related allergic reaction. So if something was happening in my body to one of the drugs that they gave me, but they just didn't know which drug it was, right? So I ended up with Dress syndrome. And then I had a relapse of a bacterial infection that I caught in May. Again, I'm writing a book. I'm going to be sharing these stories. You guys are going to know everything from A to Z. Those of you who are used to me already, I hold nothing back. I will give you guys, you will know everything that's going on with me. I just can't do it all on a live stream. So back in May, I got a bacterial infection, and that bacterial infection came back again in July. So I had that infection as well. Then from all the antibiotics they gave me, I ended up with thrush in my mouth and through my esophagus. So now it's like 14 days. I haven't been able to eat. I can't walk. I can't use the bathroom for myself. They had to put tubes everywhere, tubes to make me use the bathroom, tubes everywhere. And this is what, I'm sorry about that. And so this is what I'm going through in ICU. I want to say to you that it was the most humbling. This is where I do the dramatic pause. It was the most humbling thing I've ever been through. Being in ICU gave me a new outlook on the things we take for granted. Okay? Like being able to take a shower. Like being able to clean yourself when you come out of the bathroom, or to wash your hand, to eat some food. I mean, just to put some ice in your mouth. I'm being really literal. It was a humbling experience. But also, it was the experience that caused me to make the decision I made. Okay? So I get out the hospital. I was in the hospital for 16 days. I get out the hospital. My mom came down from New York because the doctors called her and told her if she was coming, she needed to come now because my organs were starting to shut down. They were like taking me every day to like check the liver, the colon, all of these things. And so my mom came from New York and she nursed me back to health. When they let me out of the hospital, I was over 245 pounds. Again, guys, as you guys come in, please just say hello below so I can say what's up to you and just thank you for joining, okay? And again, if you're watching this somewhere other than my Facebook group, this is your invitation, if you're a coach, to join us in magnetic messaging and marketing for coaches, okay? Okay, so back to the story. So, my mom came, and when I got out the hospital, I was 245 pounds because of all the water that they put inside of me, all the drugs that I had for so long. I was huge, couldn't walk up the stairs, nothing. It was terrible. I'm going to share that video with you guys at some point. And so, yeah, she nursed me back to health. And as I was going through this whole nursing period with my mom, I started to think that I don't want to do treatment anymore. I started to feel like if cancer doesn't kill people, chemo does. I felt like if, ever since I've been on this chemo, I just keep ending up in the hospital. I keep getting infections. I keep getting sick. And when I'm not on the chemo, I have my strength and I'm stronger. And, this is just what I was feeling. And so I made a decision. I spoke to my mom. I spoke to my kid. I spoke to my husband. I made a decision that I was not going to go back to treatment. I even went as far as to calling, having a call with my clients, because my clients are the people who's been on this journey with me from day one. They know everything. And I told them, listen, I'm not going to do treatment anymore. I've decided. And so the decision was made. Okay. And I said, I'm going to have faith in God. All right. 2 days later, some thought starts coming through my head. Nyala, maybe you're not making the right decision. Nyala, maybe you need to do a little bit more research. Maybe you need to get a second opinion. And so I went online and I started reading articles. I'll never forget the night because I stayed up all night and I started reading all of these research articles of people who had AML leukemia. And the statistics show that 85% of people who do not go through the consolidation cycle, which is the cycle I was starting when I ended up in ICU, they relapse within 2 weeks to 3 months after the induction cycle. And so I'm like, okay, what should I do? I'm going back and forth, and I'm going back and forth in my own head because my mom and my husband and all of them, as supportive as they are, they can't make the decision for me, right? And so when I ask them their opinion, it's like, well, Nyala, it's up to you. Nyala, it's up to you. So I'm stuck with just me and God trying to figure out, what should I do? Should I go back to treatment or should I try this thing the natural way? Again, I'm not going through my whole story because I don't want to be here forever, but I have been doing natural chemo since April along with the medicinal chemo. All right. So I've been doing combating things with my health. And so I changed my mind and I decided to go back to treatment. Well, let me tell you what happened. I go back to treatment last Monday. It was my first day back since July 3rd. It was my first day back. Went to treatment. The whole entire day I was sick. Never sick like this before. I was sick. Woke up the next morning on Tuesday with a rash from head to toe. Turns out that the medicine that I am allergic to is my treatment. Yes, I am allergic to my treatment. And so that's what put me in ICU. It's the chemo. That's what I'm allergic to. And now they don't know what they're going to do. They don't know what to do because that's the treatment plan. And now my body is rejecting the treatment. But God. And I'm almost done my story and then we'll talk about y'all. So, they stopped treatment again. So I've been home since last Tuesday. And I've now decided again that I am not going to be doing chemotherapy anymore. I am going to stick with the natural way. And the reason why is because I kept asking God to show me the way. I kept asking him to tell me what to do. And I even went as far as feeling like I said to him, like, God, I'm asking you what to do, but you're not telling me what to do. Like literally. And I feel like me going to treatment last Monday and after one day having the allergic reaction again and everything, I feel like that was his answer. He's telling me, Nyala, I got you. Trust me, trust me, trust me. I got you. And so I've decided that I'm no longer going to do the chemotherapy. And I'm going to stick with the natural way. I have another praise report and then I'm done. I just want to let you guys know that I've been in remission since May 20th. Okay. Put some hearts. Put some lights. That's right. I have been in remission since May 20th. The only reason why I did not share this publicly is because I have the consolidation cycle, which is 8 months that I still needed to finish. And I don't know how it's going to play out. As I just said to you, 85% of leukemia patients relapse within 2 weeks to 3 months when they stop treatment. And so I couldn't come and tell you guys I'm all in the clear because I'm not all in the clear, but I'm clear enough for God and I'm putting my trust in him because since May 20th, they have not found one leukemia cell in my body. They have also done bone marrow biopsies and that has also come out with no leukemia cells. And I feel like if that's God answering me and saying, Nyala, I've kept you since May. I've kept you. I'm already showing you that you are healed from this. Don't go back and forth on this decision. Trust me, have faith in me and let me do what I have to do for you. And that's how I feel right now. I'm speaking from my heart because that's how I feel why I'm making this decision. And so what does this have to do with you? Now I got my notes. With God, all things are possible. Now I got my notes because when I thought of sharing this story with you, I said, how does this relate to you? Right? How could this relate to you? And I felt like, number one, the first lesson that I want to bring across is that it's okay to change your mind. And here's why this is a lesson that I feel is really important for a lot of you business owners out there. I have a client, shout out to Olu in Nigeria. And when I spoke to her about me just changing my mind with treatment again, the first thing she asked me is, how did you feel coming back after saying you wasn't going to do treatment and telling us that you're going to do treatment again? And I said to her, I said to her, Olu, I felt fine because I'm okay with my decision. And I feel like when you're a leader, you want to show people that you're human. I sometimes go back on my decisions. I sometimes have to change my mind. I sometimes decide to go in a different direction. And that's okay, right? So many people are stuck and stagnant because they're afraid of changing their mind. They're afraid of what other people are going to say if they decide to go a different direction or they decide to do what's not expected of them to do, because pretty much that's what it is. Most people, when you have cancer, they expect that you're going to follow the doctor's treatment. They expect you're going to go through chemo, you're going to go through radiation, you're going to do all the things that a cancer patient does to get cancer out of their body, right? And so what happens is when they decide to go the natural way, sometimes their doctors go against them, sometimes the family question them, and they don't want to have to go through all of that, so they do what's expected of them, okay? Another example that I could give you of doing what's expected of you. Me, I grew up with a mom who's a business owner. She's a CPA, and it was expected that I was going to be in the financial industry as well. And my whole life, I was prepped to be in the financial industry. I learned how to do taxes from 12 years old. I worked in her office, all of these things. I was prepped to be in the financial industry. My degree is in accounting. I followed her footsteps and I went and I got an accounting degree. But I was unhappy. I was not fulfilled. I didn't feel like I was doing what really made me happy. And so as I became an adult, I started doing other things, right? And I did not do what was expected of me. And so this is one thing that I want to bring across to you guys is that, and you see how I'm starting to talk all fast now? The teacher's back, honey. She's back. Okay, so one of the things I really want to bring across to you guys is that it's okay to change your mind. A lot of people, when they come and they work with us in the Market Your Message program, they change their mind on their message. This is another thing that happens all the time. It's like, I want to help these type of people. I want to help them do this. But then later on, they come back and they're like, man, I don't think it's sounding right. I want to change it again. And they're scared of changing. They're scared of changing. And I just want to release that out of you today and let you know this is your world. This is your life. This is your business. This is your journey. And it is okay to change your mind. Okay. Number 2, always be researching. Always be researching. What did I say that I did? When I decided that I wasn't going to do treatment anymore, it was coming from an emotional place, right? I was crying. I think, I don't want to say this because I feel like what you put out there, you put on you, and I don't want to put that on me. But what I will say is during that time of being in ICU and healing within this last 6 weeks that I've been healing, I was down. I went through at least 2 weeks of being very down, and not sad in a way of, not sadness, but just more like feeling defeated a little bit, like, you know, like helpless, you know, like, because when I came home, every time I had to use the bathroom, it was like I couldn't get out the bed. So my daughter had to help me out the bed. And then I would come back in the room. I had to use a commode. So I couldn't even use the regular toilet. And then I had to come back in the room, and they would have, my mom and my daughter would have to pick up my legs and swing it onto the bed because that's how big I was. And I couldn't move for myself. And so I just was feeling helpless. You know, it was times when I wanted to get something to drink and I had to wait for someone to get it for me. And, you know, God is really teaching me patience through this. And so I felt really helpless and I felt really down, and I made that decision from an emotional place. But then the logic came and I said, okay, let me do some research. And I started researching, and I feel like that's what helped me make a decision, a better decision. You know what I mean? So even though I still decided not to do treatment, I'm doing it with more knowledge. Got it? I did the research. Okay. So now I know what the statistics are, what could happen, what can't happen. I know that now. So I have more of the knowledge. And I feel like that's something that a lot of you don't do enough. Okay. A lot of you are not proactive in your life. Okay. And this is something that a client reminded me of very recently, that I'm a really proactive person, and you need to be proactive as well. And you have to always be researching, whether it's business, whatever decisions that you have to make in your life, you have to be proactive about the things that you are doing. And that is what I did. A lot of people just let life pass them by, let things happen to them instead of them jumping on it and saying, what am I going to do? What can I find out? What can I read? What can I learn to make a better decision or to do things differently? Right. And so that's the second thing that I want to bring across to you. Okay. Always be researching and really start being proactive about your life and the decisions that you're making. This is not only about business. This is about you as a person. Okay. So that's my third lesson, my second lesson. Here's my third one. My third one is what I asked you in the title of this live, which is, what do you do when you're at a crossroads and making a choice is harder than quitting? I'm going to say that again. What do you do when you're at a crossroads and making a choice is harder than quitting? Again, going back to doing what is expected of me, I could have easily said, you know, it's expected for me to do the treatment. I'm going to just go ahead and do the treatment, right? I could have just said that because that's what is expected of me, right? But instead, I had to battle with myself. I had to battle amongst myself and decide which way I was going to go. I couldn't just put my hands up in the air and say, well, I'll just let it happen. I'll just go to treatment and let it happen. I had to make a decision. And I want you guys to think about, when it's time for you to make a hard decision, do you make the choice or do you quit? Because a lot of people quit just so that can excuse them or absolve them from having to make a choice. A lot of people will quit and just put their hands up in the air because making the choice is actually the harder thing to do. And if you know that you are someone that's like that, or you find yourself in those type of, I'm losing the word, I don't know, scenarios, those type of scenarios, if you find yourself there, what do you do when you're at a crossroads and making a choice is harder than quitting? Do you challenge yourself? Do you challenge what's expected of you? Or do you just put your hands up in the air and quit? And use that as an excuse not to make a choice. I want to use business as an example. A lot of you know that you have to put yourself out there. A lot of you know that in order to be successful, which is what you truly want, it means that you have to step out of your comfort zone. But you're so willing. You're so willing to stay in that comfort zone, okay? Because you feel comfortable, then you actually making a choice to do the harder thing. And so you find yourself out there going in circles, being stuck every year. You find yourself in the same place, asking yourself the same questions, looking online, following the same people, watching them grow while you stay stuck. Why? Because you rather stay complacent. You rather do what's expected. You rather stay comfortable than making a choice to do the harder thing, to do the thing that may be uneasy. Would you think that me stopping treatment isn't scary? You want to know why I said this is a scary decision? Because it is scary, right? Yes, Andrea. Andrea said, are you willing to challenge what's normal? It is scary. What's happening with me right now, I have faith, but it is still scary because in my mind, I know that I should be doing treatment. That's what's expected. But I'm going against the doctors. I'm going against the normalcy. I'm going against the grain, and I'm deciding to do something different. Okay? And here's what I asked myself when I was making this decision. Nyala, well, I didn't ask myself. I made a statement. I said, Nyala, you could go through the whole consolidation cycle and still relapse. You could go through the whole 8 months. You could finish treatment and still relapse. There's people that go in remission for 4 or 5 years and still relapse. Sometimes the cancer comes in different areas of their body. So do I make my choices off of this? Or do I stand by what I really want to do and have faith and just go with my choice, my hard choice? And that's what I decided to do. And that's what I want to challenge you guys to do. I want to challenge you today to, number one, be okay with changing your mind. Be okay with your decisions. Number two, always be proactive. Always be proactive. And then number three, stop always doing what's expected of you. Do what your heart desires. Do what your heart desires. I said to a client, and I'm going to end this here because I'm long-winded. I said to a client a couple days ago, having cancer, as bad as it is, in terms of what I've been through and what I may have more to go through, it happens to be one of the most freeing things that has ever happened to me. Because I no longer feel bonded to validation from other people. I no longer feel bonded by what other people think or what they're gonna think of me if I make certain decisions, or judging me or whatever it is. Don't act like y'all don't know, because y'all go through it every day just like me. And this whole experience has freed me to the point where I am going to do what my heart's desire and what God wants me to do, not what people want me to do. Because at the end of the day, when judgment comes, honey, I'm not going to be standing in front of you. You ain't going to be able to judge me because you're going to be next to me being judged too. You understand? So I feel free. And from now on, I want to encourage you guys to be free. Because I know whenever I come, it's all about marketing. It's all about sales. It's all about growing your business. But it's so much deeper than that. when you are stepping into you, the real you, the you that you are meant to be, the you that God knows he wanted you to be from the time he conceived that you were going to come on this earth. Do you understand me? And I want you to step into that. Okay. So that's my message for you today. This is my decision. I want you guys to continue to pray for me, continue to encourage me, because this is what it is. This is what we're going to be doing moving forward. Okay. So before I go, let me give you some announcements. This month, I got so many things happening. Number one, I have a guest expert that's going to be coming in to be doing a sales, that's going to be talking to you all about sales. It's going to be amazing. Make sure you guys stay locked in the Facebook group, okay? Second thing, Money Marketing Monday with Nyala starts back on Monday. Yes, I'm going to be back on Monday. So we're going to start our trainings back every week. Make sure you guys stay locked in for that. What else do we have going on? Kelly put in the group yesterday that we're going to be doing monthly giveaways for our top contributors. So those of you who've been holding it down while I was gone, leaving comments, conversing with each other, thank you so much. Keep it up, because we are going to reward you for that, okay? So keep it up. We want to keep this group engaged, and we want to keep the group happening, okay? And I can't do it without you, so keep it up. What was the last announcement? Last announcement is I have a new training. It's going to be on the 22nd. I'm working on it right now. It's going to be epic. It's going to be great. So make sure you guys are there. It's going to be all about growing your business, your coaching business. And it's going to be focused on messaging and structure. Okay. So number one, your message is how you attract people. If that's not on point, then you're already shooting yourself in the foot before you get started. So we have to start there. And then number two, the structure of your business is really important, because if it's not structured to convert and it's not structured to scale, that's the reason why you guys are still struggling. And I'm a master at this. And I'm not saying it just because it's me. I'm saying it because I really am. I've been down since April. I have not been live. I have not launched things. I've just sold stuff from my store. I haven't been able to do any launches. I haven't been able to do anything, any webinars, any series. Y'all know it because you're here and you know it, but yet still, we are still earning the type of money that we were earning before COVID. Nothing has changed, okay? Why? Because my business has been structured to convert and structured to scale, as well as structured to work for me when I can't be around. And that's what I want to be able to help you guys do this month. So that's what our training is going to be all about. And it's absolutely free. So I want to make sure that you guys show up for that. So look out for it. It's going to be in the group. Again, I just want to thank you for all your prayers, all your support. And yeah, keep up with me. I'll talk to you guys soon.